Hello there, welcome back to my garage. It's Thursday night before this video comes out tomorrow. This video's a bit ropey because I just don't have time to do it properly, so I'm going to put all the good stuff at the start, yeah? All the interest stuff that someone might watch it for because of the clickbaity title at the start. My home solar that I installed over a year ago. At the time of an exact year, I made 1.3 megawatts. Is that right? Megawatts? 1,300 kilowatts, if you want to call it that. Which is about right. The original mathematics, if you look on the earlier videos I did for this solar project, were predicted to be 2,000 kilowatts per year, which made the payback time of the solar 3 years on the cost I did. The actual whole project to do all that, all myself, the actual equipment, solar panels, which were considerably more expensive last year, the solar panels, the trunking, the uni-strut, the cable, the all lot come to about, I think it's about 1,800 quid, all in everything, including all the fixings. Would it be worth putting those panels up if you paid someone to do it? I'd have thought if you paid someone to do that, you'd be looking at double and maybe a bit more on the payback. But because I have the ability to do it myself, my payback's 3 years. Also, I don't include the cost of the battery. I already had the battery. For a year before that, which is still not finished off fitting. But the battery obviously was about 4 bags by the time it was done for 10 kilowatt. And it's only because of the battery, I think, that I make good money out of my solar. Because in the day, otherwise, I'd be giving the fucker away. And it takes a lot of careful managing, looking at the weather forecast and setting the batteries overnight charge to guess what you can fill it up with the next day. So, but me and my missus are fucking boring. She's an accountant and I'm an electrician. We both like a bit of maths. So we do actually look at that, go, oh, it's going to be sunny tomorrow, we'll up that or we'll down that one. So we do get a bit boring about it. So yeah, was it worth it? Yes. Is my payback time still 3 years? No, because I waited a year with 5 panels before I put the other 2 up. Now I've got the other 2 up, I expect to see 2,000 kilowatt hours made next year. And the other thing we do is we do a lot of savvy stuff, like we've got a remote control washer, can start it from an app. So we always keep washing ready to go in the washing machine with goo in it, washing goo, Dobie dust. So as soon as we are about to go and start giving away soda a day, we bang the washer on. Looking to adapt that this year. Probably do a video on something like that where I put in a diverter and maybe heat up some water, use an air conditioner or do something else. But yeah, generally, was it worth it as a project? It was for me because I didn't pay to put it in. But like I say, I think the materials for that, if you'd bought them off a solar provider, it'd be 3 grand, probably another 3 grand to fit it. I think you'd be looking at least, I think to put that on the sidewall from a decent solar firm, you would have got MCS, but I don't give that much away to make it worth a while. I think you'd be looking at £8,000 at least, whereas I paid 1,800 quid, because to be honest, the markup's just that big in this stuff, you know what I mean? Because they are doing a big service, scaffold and all that. Not markup, sorry, but the costs are that big in this. So yeah, it was worth it for me, because I've got the battery as well, because I utilise my load management, my washing machine and use all the solar. And have I got MCS? No other fuck. Because literally what we do is we spend our days trying not to give it away. Like trying to weigh the battery up. Sometimes we have to buy a bit of electricity in a day, which is a pain in the arse. Sometimes we give a bit away. But generally with clever management, I think I do better out of it than the numbers would suggest, because I always put my washing on, so we do more washing, wash things more frequently. I've got 2 fucking kids, so the washing machine's always on, and I think that really saves me more than the predicted money. So yeah, it was worth it for me. Is it worth it for you going and getting someone to do it? Don't know. Probably not as worth it is for me. Is it worth having a go yourself? Depends how skilled you are. If you're a Sparky, if you're an actual Sparky and you go and have a go yourself, absolutely, it's not that hard to do a simple job. So yeah, give it a bash. If you're a DIYer, probably set your fucking ass on fire, kill yourself on a ladder. Here's my tale of my solar and a little bit about prepping my gear along with last week's video for winter. See you later. Multiple records ago today. You may remember a year ago I did this solar on my house and I put these 5 panels up, but I left a gap at the top for 2 more. Unfortunately, I couldn't get up there with the ladders I've had, and after a year, so I've got the data on a year with 5, Phil Dennis at Phil Dennis Electrical is only going to drop me off some massive, huge ladders like that so I can get up there and finish it off, because my ladders won't go above the panels. So over the weekend at some point, or maybe next week, I'm going to chuck the 2 panels up there, and we're going to see how much more energy I can get out of 2. So I'll be doing that, and I'll review how it's gone on for the past year. Doing some actual electrical content. This is 1 year later solar. So up here, My fuse board's over there at the minute, buried behind that teller. And there's some armouds that come through from the main fuse board, which is in the house, under the stairs, which just does a lot of distribution. That is my renewables box. In there, let me turn around and show you what's in the renewables box. This camera is the wrong way round. This camera is still the wrong way round. So when I change the fuse board of the stairs, this fuse board down here does like all the housey shit. It's just a plastic Hager piece of shit. It needs getting changed, yeah? It's going to get changed. It's going to be a double stack one go here eventually, and a UPS one next door, which is what I'm going to allude to. So it's a year later, but when I did the fuse board under the stairs, I pulled in those 10mm 4-core armours that are there to this box. So there's two 10mm 4-core armours here, and there's two isolators, and one of them's for the solar, one of them's for the battery. Then going out this box to write some Copex and stuff that picks it all up. What's that Copex there for? I think that bottom Copex is data and stuff. Anyway, this was like the joining point for my renewables because I want to be able to play around with it, put CTs and all that kind of stuff. So I've got this box. So basically, my main fuse board, where my incomer is, all that comes out of it is those two armoured, one for the solar, one for the battery, and this armoured here, which is for the new fuse board that's going to go there. And there's a 6mm old shower feed that feeds that old fuse board. The plan being that it's the main fuse board just looks like a bit like a sub-main, so, and I can CT and monitor everything in here. Let me show you outside. See that earth cable? We'll come to that later. See that mess of an earth cable? That needs drilling for a stuffing lamp. I'll show you where that goes. That then comes out here, look. Those 3 Copex there in my battery. There's my battery, 10 kilowatts. Then there's a little armoured there, look. They're going to start isolating all this. Now, I know it's a bit of a mess, but it's been laid out as such because I want to fit these boxes in. These boxes are for me to fit CT monitoring equipment. My plan later on is to get rid of those and just have a really tidy inverter set up, just squeezed in this wall. Isolator will go next door, all get tidied up. But for the time being, because I want to do some monitoring, that's all like that. But today, see that earth cable there, look? That goes to the array, to the unit shut the arrays on, which I'll show in a second. Solar's been in for about a year now. The prediction was 2 megawatts with 7 panels. I only put 5 up because the top 2 were hard to get to. But after a couple of months, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it for a year with 5. And I'll tidy all this stuff up. Well, I ain't done none of that. But now I'm doing that. So when I tidy this stuff up, I'll have this earthing you'll see in a minute. And I'm going to put the other 2 panels up this week. I borrowed some massive ladders off Dennis Electrical, Nottingham's #1 domestic electrical contractor for all your domestic electrical contractor needs. Use Phil Dennis. That's Phil Dennis Electrical in Nottingham. Not sponsored, but he's lent me his ladders. I'm guessing that's an ad. I'm going to tag it up now. But he's a good lad. And his lads are good as well. And he told me to say this because he's got a gun next to my head. And he gives me drugs. But yeah, I'm going to tidy it all up. So just going to do a little pick up on it because I've got 1.5 meg over the year, but I should have got 2. So will the other 2 panels do that? And we'll come back to it next year. But at the minute, this year, I'm going to tidy it all up and make it nice. But I mean, look at the fucking state of this. This is what Sparker's asses look like, mate. Because I don't use Phil Dennis Electrical. So that earth cable there that comes out the box, look, whizzes through there. It's for earthing the strut on the array, which is very important, which is why for last year, I've not connected it. So I'm just going to bang that in there, look. Doing some actual electrical, so I'm going to fit that. And I'll show you what's going to up there with those panels. I brought the earth in. I've earthed it outside as well. I've made a hole for it. It's going to get stuffing band. I put it all in this box as well because that's the data and the CT, battery, solar, and this is going to be from a UPS supplier to get it across there. I know it's shit, lads. This is my own house shit. I do what I fucking want. Also, I wish I'd never used that plastic trunking header, but that's a different story. That's all going to be... When I do the fuse board, all that shit's going to get tied up.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop you fucking lying.
All the old Sky TV cables that you don't use anymore, fucking just dumped. Can't bear to cut off in the ceiling though, you know, because I ever need something, but whenever I use the cuts, but yeah, that's fucking the Sky TV legacy that I want rid of. Good man to cut them out actually, but yeah, I'm tired of that trunking header up when I put my new fuse board in.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop you fucking lying.
And I'm going to have a double stack, a UPS fuse board, and the main one's going to go. But yeah, I've got all that prepped up in there, look, so I can not worry about it. But I do need to finish the solar, which is what this video's about. And yeah, the double stack's going to go there. The UPS board's going to go there. The UPS comes from a battery that is not uninterruptible, believer. It's a backup power supply. So my battery, if the power goes off, can sustain providing 3 kilowatts from itself. That's its inverter size. That would run my house for most of the day, right? Depending on what kind of weather it is. So, but the problem is the UPS supply isn't as big because it's not as big. So I need to check the UPS supply. Let's do that one sec. Incorrect. I'm just going to look at the data plate on it, and the UPS backup supply is 3 kilowatts. So it's a 3 kilowatt inverter. It can do it in 3 kilowatt. I've got 10 mil armour to come to this box. I think I took a 2.5 mil arm off the battery. Or was it bigger? A 4 mil or a 2.5 because it's got a charge. But I think that's 3 kilowatts. But anyway, don't worry about it. Coming out of that inverter, there's a 1.5 or is it a 2.5 into here. It's irrelevant. I'll do it proper. But there's a cable from the UPS here, which I'm going to take to a board. I'll then fuse that. Probably at 10 amps because let's leave 3 amps of headroom on the UPS. Then off that 10 amp board, I'm going to feed the essential things to my house. I'm not talking about sockets and all that shit. That's not essential. I'm talking if the power did go off, what do I absolutely want to come on? So let's just have a quick nose at what that's going to be. I see a lot of people thinking this kind of stuff's essential. Yeah, this is my data in my house. So I've got a router. This is a PoE switch. It does all my cameras and everything like that. And some other gubbins, yeah. I've also got this for here. This is a UPS. So this if I switch the power off, this will kick in and stop it going off. Or tell it to shut down safely. The simple fact is, this is not essential. I don't need this. This powers 4 Wi-Fi hotspots around the house. And all my cameras and stuff. Don't really need the cameras if the power's off, yeah? Although I might think about doing that in future, but I don't need all this to run. All I really need to run is my new one of these, which is my BT Home Hub. It's got Wi-Fi in it, and it'll provide Wi-Fi to the house. Things get desperate if the power goes off in the middle of winter. I don't need to watch Netflix on my tele. I just probably need my BT Home Hub to stay on, so my phone line will work for an hour or two, and my internet will work for an hour or two. So that's going to go through the UPS, so it never goes off. Yeah, so it's not this UPS, it's for this to protect it from power surge and short outputs, yeah. So this is going off here. Over here, I've got another UPS somewhere that's pulled out of skip. That one over there, that's going on the Home Hub to again keep that going when the power goes off. The difference is this one won't be fed from my main battery, but the root one will. So worst case scenario, when the power goes off, my BT Home Hub with its inbuilt Wi-Fi will come on to enable us to have some sort of phone and internet connection. Please be aware, if you have a big blackout around your whole area and you're on fibre, yeah, which I'm about to go on to, the batteries in the cabinets only last for an hour. So don't start trying to make your BT Home Hub last more than an hour, because the batteries outside will cut off and you'll lose connection anyway. This was more to protect my equipment from being shut on and off than anything else. But yeah, just bear in mind, if you ain't got an actual phone line, you're not protected for more than an hour against connection. I'm going to put the boiler on the UPS. The boiler's for its own private spur, which does the boiler and the boiler controls. So the boiler, which is there, and the boiler controls, which are there, are going on their own private spur. I've got Hive. It's all right. It's not great. But if you press that button there, it manuals the boiler on. So even if the internet's down, you can come in here and press that button. And I've also got a bypass switch. If they just press it, the boiler comes on. So the boiler's got to go on the UPS and the battery power supply, because there's a good chance if the power goes off locally, the gas pressure will still be there, because the whole system's pressurised. So I'd want the boiler on. So that's going on the UPS. I'm going to put the stairs lighting and one bedroom or two, a couple of bedrooms upstairs and a couple of rooms downstairs on the UPS for lighting, although we'll try and keep those lights off. And that's it. Oh, and I've got 2 sockets in the house, 2 double sockets that are wired on their own little radio. I'm going to put them on the emergency power supply for charging shit. There's no point putting all your fucking whole house on backup supply, because what you're tempted to do is, if your whole house on backup supply, you're able to kind of like normal. 1, that'll attract people to your house because your house is lit up like a fucking Christmas tree, yeah? And 2, you'll just cave your battery in. I live in the countryside, so if the power went off for a few days due to some snow or something like that, I'd rather that battery lasted longer because I didn't have the facility to plug more into it. So that's what I'm going to do with my UPS supply, which I'm going to get in soon. But anyway, back to solar. Right, I've got my shit in here. There's all the instructions that came with the inverter. There's the Wi-Fi, I think that came with the inverter, and the screws that were left. I don't use the Wi-Fi. There's all the clips. They're spare. They're extra clips, I have to buy them in certain amounts. Some rope time ladders off, and I've got the clips here. I need 3 for each end, which I've got 1, 2, 3. They're the middles, 1, 2, 3. I need 3 for the other end, and I'm short of 1 M8 Zeb, so I can't put them up today. And I need a couple of M8s to do my rope. But I've got all my shit together now, got all that ready. I've got all my tools ready somewhere, and I've got the ladders ready, and I've got the panels ready. So now I just need to wait to get them up, which is not going to happen today. Sorry if you're expecting it to happen today, but I'm recording these for a YouTube video, so I've got everything ready now. Panels, tools. Yeah, I'm good to go. I just need to get them up. Oh, I need some ratchet straps, so I'll go and get them. Instruction that came with these solar panels, as you can see by these cobwebs, have been here a year, but now they're going on the wall. And that's the first time I've seen the outside of my garden pub for over a year. There's dead animals and stuff behind, it's been there that long. I'd love to say this was my project, but actually I did the install. Original design, Mark Allison, he ran it all through solar PV for me before I knew what I was doing. Secrets of what I'm doing now. I just rang Dan at DMH, who's offered constant technical advice on this project. I just rang him now to check I can't break anything when I kept the panels up because I'm a bit scared. And Phil Dennis Electrical, Nottingham's #1 purveyor of fine electrical engineering for domestic dwellings, has lent me his big old ladders. So that's the people, they're all in, the original Sparky crew. That's not original, what's it called? What's it actually called? I forgot what it's called. What is it called? They're all in the elite Sparky crew, yeah? Launching that this weekend on the podcast. If you want to be in the elite Sparky crew, watch the podcast at some point this weekend, because it's not going to be on Sunday, because the football's on. But yeah, if you want to talk about the elite Sparky crew, there is no elite Sparky crew. Then you need to, it's crew with a K, by the way, so it's street. Keep it on for the podcast this weekend. But the problem I had before is my ladders won't go above that top uni strut, so I couldn't lift the panels in. Now I can go lift the panels underneath the ladders, drop onto the ledge and tie them off. So I'm just going to tie my ladders off, because if you don't tie your ladders off, you're a fucking moron. Get them tied off, get the angle set, and then I'm going to bring the panel out, come underneath, drop on the ledge, and I'll have a ratchet strap up there ready. And then I'll do the isolations and stuff then. Jiggle it around. Shouldn't take too long. Elite Sparky crew. They are big old ladders, yeah. The only thing I've handled that's greater in size than that is your mum's dildo. I've put my ratchet strap up. Ratchet strap's up ready. I'm going to get a panel out in a minute. I've got up there and split them MC4s now, which are all ready. Just got to throw the panels in. Don't need a lot of tools. Allen keys, snips, and then splitting keys for the solar. And then up there, look, they sit like this. They sit on the uni straw. That's my dog. They sit on the uni straw to take the weight, so it should be no problem. Just to drag it underneath and plop it up there. Shouldn't take too long. Famous last words. I'll get the panels out now. They've been there that long, a spider's made its home in there, so I'm just going to pick it out, this bit of cable, which is nice. Get out, spider's house. Also, since I come outside, the wind's picked up a bit, which is a bit worrying, but we'll see how we get on. Well, that got fruity. For a start, it's probably not as windy, probably got any windier, but those fucking panels are like sails. So I'm sure everyone who's doing solar is telling me that now anyway, but there's a light breeze, look. But it's making a massive difference anyway. I went up there and realised I positioned my straps wrong. They weren't around the bottom rail, so they would hold it up, but it could slip off. So I had to come all the way back down and go and do my strapping again. But I've learnt my lesson now. Problem is I've only got one more to do. On the bottom ones, I fucked around with the system. I got the first one done and threw them all in. I've done the same there, but it's a high. So anyway, I'm going to put my straps on properly. I want them, 3 of them this time. Get my cables cut, get it all ready. I come back down, so I've not prepped it up enough, but until you're up there with the panel, you don't realise, do you? I've just turned it back on to check the generation's operating. And if it's operating, I know that one's good, because I'm not fucking taking both down to find what's wrong. If that one's going to work, I will go and put the other one up. But yeah, fuck this, I'm never doing this solar again. Fair play to you lads that do it, but fucking not for me. It's generating, and it's going back off. Just can't reach. Safe, must safely isolate. Off. Click, click, that's off. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing wrong with that select inverter, yeah? It works perfectly fine, it's done what I want it to do. It doesn't have a built-in Ethernet connection, it's on Wi-Fi, which I don't like, I'd rather it was connected. You might be able to get a dongle, though, that does a network connection, but it don't fucking matter, I don't need to talk to it, because the app is absolute dog shit. As far as I'm concerned, the app is crap. Yeah, I'm not interested in it. Luckily, my battery has a CT on the mains output side, which tells me all the data I need. And if I really want to log into the Solax app, I can, which I just did now to see if it was working, edit any faults. But yeah, they do the job. The cheapest chips, the app shit, but to be fair, do I even need a fucking app? Answer is no, because my battery does it all. And if the battery didn't do it, I'd use a Shelly. But yeah, they just do what they do, don't they? They just convert it from one thing to another, which is what I want to do. I keep the app on my phone for faults and that, but yeah, if you wanted to rely on an app and you wanted to get that data off here, Solax, I find it a fucking pain in the to be honest. Anyway, let's go do the next one. They're up, don't know if they work yet, but I was putting these in and that step there won't fit into that top gap up there. So now I've got to loosen all them, edge it across a couple of mil to get it in. And I'm sure some solar bloke who's watching this, like Dan or Oval, will be going, oh, you should have done that. But I guess on the roof you can leave them a bit looser and jiggling around, but I don't have the option. I like to get them strapped up, but now I've got, you can just see it goes in a bit. I don't know why, I don't care. Loosen them, knock it back a bit and put it back in. Maybe I'll go and turn it on in a minute then. Oh, fuck this for work. They're up, but they're covered with snail trails and fucking cobwebs and shit, so even though Dan told me not to last time, I'm going to give them a quick wash with just some water, because I ain't getting the fucking steps out again. I'm going to wipe the shit off, wipe the snail trails off, work my way along, checking the tyre. That's me fucking done. Solar and me, we're over. I was going to quote some sort of Taylor Swift line, but I don't know which one. We're never, ever, ever getting back together. I absolutely know I tightened that end up, but I'd be a fool not to work my way back one and check the roll tight, because you never know. And I've got to get that strap down. So yeah, move the steps once more. And what we'll do next time, or what I'm going to do as part of this video on YouTube is, I'm going to go over how much money I've saved on the 5 panels, which I've got a date for the year, and then we'll see that compares to the 2 panels next year. But I will give a rundown of the costs, me nearly dying, my bum all touching, and whether it was worth it for me, which obviously it was, because it's fucking free, innit? This shit cost 1,500 quid all in, so it is. But yeah, if you like a touchy bum hole, go on your own roof and do it, but not for me. You got to go up there to tighten them last 3 bolts or check the tie. It'll only take me 2 seconds. I could probably get away without tying my ladder off, couldn't I? And it's raining, so fuck it, I'm gonna leave it. Don't be fucking stupid. That's the Emperor Mon getting inside you. When you start thinking like that, you're about to get killed. So just stop and think what you're doing, yeah? And do it properly. There's a little bit of ladder advice for you. You know what I mean? I won't want anyone finding me doing things that are naughty, would I? Except your mum. Panels up, inverter back on. Inverter's saying there's power. Panels are there. Wash the snail trails off. Get the fuck out of Dodge. Phil Dennis, finest purveyor of electrical installations in Nottingham. When you're ready, you can come and get your ladders back. Don't thank me, thank you, cheers. And amazingly, even though it's raining and the sun is over there somewhere, because it's cloudy, that is producing 200 watts, which is half my base load, which is, it's raining, mate, there's no sun, so that's pretty decent. So I mean, I didn't check what I was doing before because it weren't raining, but I'll get a few weeks date and I'll come back to you on YouTube probably. So yeah, after 12 months, I can finally say to my wife, this is finished. Unfortunately, we've still not got no kitchen cupboard doors, but it's been like that for 14 years, so fuck it. Sorry, wife. Disclaimer, before anyone says that, yeah, this is a private job, this is my own house, my own panels, I'm not being paid. I would never ever dream of doing something like this at work. Yeah, I just wouldn't fucking meet the risk assessment criteria, would it? I wouldn't do it. It was pretty safe, tied off. Ladders are safe, good angle. Panels were lifted up. I didn't show that because I don't want to fucking promote anything like that. I lifted them up on a rope with some hooks, which I'm not going to show because it's like, well, temporary works. I'm not going to fucking encourage that kind of behaviour. But the panels got up there safely on a little wheel. I was up there safely. There was no risk at the time, but yeah, but we wouldn't do what I've done now on any paid job. I'd get scaffolding up and do it properly because the customer needs to pay, the client needs to pay for the risk. Yeah, but it's my own ass. I caught a little system, it was all strapped up, everything was safe and secure. I could have fell off at any time, but I could have fell off this curb. So before someone messaged me saying, oh, you don't practice what you preach. At work, I'm solid, but at home, I'm a fucking bodge merchant, motherfucker, and don't you forget it. Remember, Elite Sparky Crew.